Greetings, all you Metamaniacs. This is T Manichi, and the video that we just released, an exclusive interview with CG on the Conquest game mode, isn't all we have in store for you this weekend. We have exclusive footage, the first gameplay footage of the Conquest mode, and not only did Good Ol' Maurice and I go in and toy with this ourselves, but we went in with SB Crumb and Doja Fett from CG and played the game mode with them. So it was a great opportunity. We've never done that before with the developers. It was an interesting opportunity to walk through a game mode with them and, hey, see them play the game. Where else have you seen the devs actually go and play the game? So it was a lot of fun, and we're going to release, the first one we're going to release is on data cards. Now, data cards are so cool. This is the essence of Conquest mode as far as I'm concerned. Basically, a data card allows you to kind of treat Conquest like the old Territory Wars bonus battles. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that, but that's because the bonuses were kind of imposed on us. Well, here you are in charge of the bonuses on your characters. So you can craft them right from the beginning, whether you have buff-based squads that you really like to play with. You can have buff-based bonuses, debuff-based bonuses, health regeneration, crazy things like fear and plague on any team. You can have Ewoks hitting Sith with the plague. It's really cool. There's a lot of dynamic parts to it, and so this video is going to go over. It's going to show you gameplay, and it's going to go over some of the different data cards and show you just what Conquest has in store for our community. All right, thank you very much, and thank you to CG, to Doja Fett, to SB Crumb, and to CG Prototype for their time in these interviews, and for Doja Fett and for SB Crumb for play the game with us. Now, Doja Fett had to sneak away for this particular video, but you'll see him in other videos that are up and coming with more exclusive gameplay footage. Upcoming videos, yay! Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, join us on our Discord at discord.io/Operation Metaverse, and check out all we have to offer on www.patreon.com/Operation Metaverse or our website, www.operationmetaverse.com. All right, see you on the holotables. May the force be with you.
I did want to show you folks some of the other data discs. I think that's where I get the most fun out of this game right now is sort of figuring out which of these would be interesting to do, because there are some. We were talking about that buff build, when we were doing pretty good with that. This is a lot more expensive in terms of data capacity. It's 4 slots, so we saw one of those like 1 and 2 slot data discs were really powerful, especially if you stack them up. So is this worth 4 of those versus 1? Hard to say, but this one says whenever an ally gains 10 buffs, they gain the massively overpowered effect for 1 turn. This cannot be copied, dispelled, or prevented. And massively overpowered says the next time this unit uses an ability during their turn, they also deal massive damage to target enemy. So on that Jedi Knight Revan squad where you're just pumping out buff after buff after buff, you're going to probably have your whole squad with massively overpowered pretty regularly, and they're just going to smash through stuff, right? So even if you're maybe Relic 2 or 3 with your squad there and you're going against JML, you've got a lot of advantage if you're using this on top of it as well. You may not get this one, you may get a different one, but you're going to probably get one of these kind of nicer, fancier purple ones out there as well at some point in your run. My personal favorite is this one called Dread. At the start of each ally's turn, they inflict plague and fear on a random enemy for 2 turns. When fear expires, that enemy takes 25% max health damage, and if the enemy is below 50% when that fear expires, they are instantly defeated.
It seems like one you bring out when you're having a bad day, just to,
Yeah, if you manage to get Dread early on, I'd say this is a very good one to build around and also just to focus on, because even if you're not applying a bunch of other debuffs that are going to take them down, combination of just plague and fear on the enemy team randomly, that's really strong. And not to mention, if their health pools are huge and they're just at 50% health, they just get defeated immediately. So very, very powerful effect there. Probably worth those 4 slots, I would say, in capacity. Deadly Momentum, all allies have 30% shield penetration and gain 30% offense when an enemy falls below 100% health. I should say data disc, not artifacts. Effects trigger enemies when enemies fall below 100%, also trigger at 70 and 40%. So you can kind of get a couple extra triggers off that when you wouldn't be able to get that. You only get that once when they fall below that 100%. Um,
That was really good, but that one seems like you really got to have some good luck in the other data disc. Like that one seems like one you really got to set up for. That
it's
was
got kind
pretty
of two
cool.
parts to it. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
the first part, obviously, all allies whenever they fall below 70%, so it does synergize with itself. Because obviously that's going to also trigger at 70 and 40%. But yeah, you would want some other ones specifically to go with that one. I think all these sort of bigger ones, you definitely want something that would probably work with it. I wouldn't say you want to just like have this one by itself and not really support it with a couple of these data discs.
This one's interesting. I pulled this one on one of the playthroughs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like it's the mass assist one, right? Like again, if you're using that Ewok team and they're using their ability on their turn, and your Chief Sherpa is just constantly going, this is going to just keep calling all those Ewoks to assist no matter what you do. So that's a pretty powerful one as well with booming voice there. I said there's a lot of variety here what you could do. I kind of want to try a little bit of a debuff build here and see if we can get that going. Amplified Agony, I said, is the one I really enjoy. I'll put a couple of those on. So I've given myself a lot of stuff here. So
You
you
can
know
give
you
yourself more than one of the same?
you can stack them up,
Oh, ho,
correct?
ho, 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 ho.
So let's try, as we were talking about with Dread, because that one's great. Um, and I think in the run that I did, I got a couple of these common ones. I got a couple of these amplified, the amplified agony that is of the blue rarity as well. So like, I maybe not have all of them at like the fanciest level, but you got a couple of them at different tiers here. And then maybe throw in like, whenever an ever an ally deals damage to an enemy, or let's see what else we got. Maybe heal over time effects. Nah, it doesn't really synergize. Health steal and defense penetration, that might not be bad. Might not be bad. Cooldown one we saw before. That's just a fancier version of that one. But we'll see. Let's just see how this one works with caustic emissions. That's the other one I was thinking of. Applying some extra damage over time effects on them. So
And I've played through the hard, and it's you start getting up to sector 3, and I've got a pretty large account. Like you start getting to sector 3, it's no joke. Like you really need to tinker with these data discs. You have to use some of those consumables. Stamina is really important. You want to make sure your character's at 100%. Like it gets really, really challenging. Like the stuff we're doing tonight is on the normal mode, but the hard
yeah.
stuff, that's you get to those relicate characters, it's tough. So you need all the help you can get.
Yeah, and let's say they're definitely a big boost in power, but as you said, it will get harder and harder as you go along here. So I think I'm going to probably just smash this one, but I want to just like give you guys kind of the what this build kind of does, right? So I immediately I throw fear on this guy automatically. Took some damage. Yeah. Boom! Everyone just took a bunch of damage because of all the debuffs I just applied to everyone. This guy, Malik also got plague. He's got 2 fears on him. So I'm gonna pop this, and which does a whole bunch of stuff on them. That's gonna hurt. And then when I pop this, it's gonna throw a whole bunch more debuffs.
Wow.
You can see
They're dead without even touching them.
You are doing, and then granted, like this is I've given myself a lot here, so just understand that like this is not a normal situation. But once you've got enough of these debuffs out here, right, you are able to then kind of pop a lot of extra stuff on them. So when you're getting these higher challenges instead, and you got to go up against Relic 3, Grandmaster Luke. If you've got some of these kind of data discs on here, you could really turn the tide on that. So while it is challenging and does look scary, you're going to get some serious power boosts from these though. Like, and you need to use them all smartly, right? Like, so I think a lot of in our initial tests when we were playing with them, people were like, "Oh, this is so hard. I don't understand how this game works." It's like, because you're using your old strategies here, where you need to be making sure that you are using the most effective squad for the tools you have. And so that's why maybe like early on you want to go very broad with those data discs. So you're just any squad you have can do that. But again, if you want to go kind of narrower, and then you go, "Oh man, I'm about to hit this boss," pull out my squad that really synergizes well with those data discs. You can definitely do some damage.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a strategy. Like if you're looking to the end and you see Grandmaster Luke, Darth Revan can beat him, but you might need a bunch of those boosters to make sure that happens if you're, if you're not as relict as the team, or, if you need to be more relict than the team usually.
I also put a bunch of the consumables on here as well, if you remember. So like this squad is moving fast. It's got potency. It's got all this stuff on here. And you can see like Nest is basically, no matter what happens here, I don't even need to attack Nest because Dread is just going to trigger and she's less than 50% health.
Yeah, delete.
Delete.
Don't gotta worry because of Dread. And I'll go back to those just so now you've seen them in action to be like, wait, which one of those? She's got the plague on there, so she's dropping below 100% health. I need the one that you had, Gom, that gives them the armor shred whenever they drop below 100%. That one's really good with here as well.
That would be cool.
Because then they'll start getting armor shred as soon as they get plague. They'll also get armor shred. Which one was that?
I remember picking that one, and the only reason I picked it because it was blue. Like I didn't necessarily think it was cool, but after using it, I can see the benefit. Like that's a cool one. Like that's a really good one. Especially like the Geos just laying down 10 stacks armor shred on you real quick. That's fun.
I like this one as well. Potency calibration. Whenever an enemy's resisted debuffs, since I'm very focused on debuffs here, all my allies get potency to help land those debuffs afterwards. So maybe that's one way to go here as well. I don't remember where that last one is, so we'll find it another time. But said this Dread is what really finished off Nest there, right? Like she had fear on her, it expired, she took a bunch of damage still, and then she was below 50%, so she was just instantly defeated. Much easier than the time that I was having before with my Ewoks, but